In a quiet land, long before the noise of cities and the rush of modern life, there lived a humble woodcutter. This was a place where mornings arrived gently. Mist rested over the forest like a pale blanket, and the river that ran through the valley whispered softly to itself as it flowed. Birds greeted the dawn one by one, their calls echoing between tall trees whose leaves shimmered with dew. Our story begins here, not with kings or warriors, not with grand castles or battles, but with an ordinary man whose greatest wealth was his honesty. Each day, before the sun fully rose, the woodcutter would rise from his small wooden home. He lived alone, not because he wished to be lonely, but because his life was simple and his needs were few. He owned no gold. He owned no land. What he owned were his hands, strong from years of work, and his heart, steady and sincere. And every morning he took his axe and walked toward the forest. The forest was both his workplace and his companion. Tall trees stood like silent guardians, their trunks marked with time. Sunlight filtered through branches in thin golden lines, warming the moss-covered ground beneath his feet. The woodcutter knew this forest well. He knew which trees were old enough to be cut and which should be left to grow. He knew where the ground dipped suddenly and where roots hid beneath fallen leaves. He worked slowly and carefully. Each swing of the axe was deliberate. Each breath was measured. He did not rush, because rushing led to mistakes, and mistakes, he believed, were not only accidents of the hand but sometimes of the heart. By midday, his arms would ache, his brow damp with sweat, but his spirit remained calm. He would pause by the riverbank to eat a simple meal of bread and fruit, listening to the water glide over stones. The river was wide but gentle, clear enough that one could see smooth pebbles resting on the bottom. It was here, beside this river, that fate waited quietly. One afternoon, as clouds drifted lazily across the sky, the woodcutter approached a familiar tree near the river's edge. He raised his axe. The blade caught the light as it swung downward, but his foot slipped. In that single careless moment, the axe flew from his hands. It spun once in the air, then fell. With a sharp splash, it disappeared into the river. The woodcutter froze. He stared at the water, his heart sinking as ripples spread across the surface and slowly faded. His axe was gone. It was the only tool he owned. Without it, he could not work. Without work, he could not eat. He knelt beside the river, peering into the depths. The water was deeper than it looked, the current stronger. No matter how he searched, he could not see the axe. Tears welled in his eyes, not from greed or anger, but from quiet despair. "Oh no," he whispered. "What will I do now?" The woodcutter sat by the riverbank, his shoulders heavy. He did not curse the river. He did not blame the forest. He blamed only his own carelessness. "This axe was not just metal and wood," he said softly to himself. "It was my livelihood." He bowed his head. The river listened, and then something remarkable happened. The water began to glow. At first, it was faint like moonlight beneath the surface 10 Richter. The river stirred, and from its depths emerged a radiant figure. Before the woodcutter stood the spirit of the river. Her presence was calm and luminous. Her voice flowed like water over stone. "Why do you weep, woodcutter?" she asked. The man trembled, but he answered honestly. "I have lost my axe," he said. "It fell into the river. Without it, I cannot work." The spirit regarded him carefully. "Wait here," she said gently. She disappeared beneath the surface. Moments later, she returned holding a magnificent golden axe. Its blade gleamed brilliantly. "Is this your axe?" she asked. The woodcutter shook his head. "No," he said, "mine was made of iron." The spirit vanished again. She returned with a silver axe, polished and beautiful. "Is this your axe?" Again, the woodcutter answered truthfully, "No, that is not mine." Once more, the spirit descended into the river. At last, she rose holding a simple iron axe, worn, familiar, and plain. The woodcutter's eyes filled with relief. "Yes," he said, "that is my axe." The spirit smiled. "Because you have been honest," she said, "and did not claim what was not yours, I will reward you." She placed the iron axe in his hands. Then, to his astonishment, she also gave him the golden and silver axes. "Take them," she said. "They are yours as well." The woodcutter fell to his knees. "Oh, thank you," he whispered. The spirit faded back into the river. The forest returned to its quiet stillness, but the woodcutter's life had changed forever. The woodcutter returned home that evening with more than he had ever owned, but wealth did not change him. He continued to work. He continued to live simply. He continued to speak truthfully. Soon, others heard his story. Some learned from it, some did not. But the lesson remained clear, echoing like the river itself. Honesty may seem costly in the moment, but it carries rewards far greater than gold. And so, as the forest stands and the river flows, the story of the honest woodcutter lives on, a quiet reminder that integrity, once lost, is far harder to recover than any fallen axe. Like and subscribe for more stories for the soul.